Welcome to tonight's sort of on the channel, where the good news is for Barcelona fans, there's finally going to be a change. Josep Maria Bartomeu and his board have resigned. So obviously a happy time, a good time. He's been there for a while. Quite why his obviously he took over from Russell whenever he resigned, and then was elected himself in 2015 after the treble season, and sort of since then it's all been downhill. There's just been one sort of shenanigans after the next, and personally I'm glad to see the back of him. So I thought I would do a wee bit of talking just about, what the situation is now, where it leaves the club, what happens next, and just some of the things that need to happen going forward. Just before we start in that, we'll just talk about Bartomeu, and obviously, from a positive standpoint from him, obviously the treble season. It's what he'll point to as his legacy. Probably they won a couple of league titles as well under him. Done quite well domestically, with leagues and cups. But he just seemed to have an agenda which didn't seem to be in the best interest of the club, in my opinion. Personally, I thought the guy was a disgrace. For me, there was a lot of footballing issues. There was a lot of things that to do with the football and to do with, certain appointments that he made, and in my opinion, were mistakes. But to me, the one thing that I personally remember, and that for me was the low point, was the real embarrassing situation was whenever during the Catalan independence movement. That Sunday of the vote, the Catalan people were being abused on their streets. They were being attacked by Spanish police and Spanish military, and Barcelona were due to play that afternoon, and he literally locked whatever thousands of fans outside the stadium. Which to me that was the low point. For me, it's like while your people, it's true what they say about Barcelona, and it says it in the stand, is Mesca club, and it is more than a club. For the people of Catalonia and Barcelona, they suffered a lot, and they were suffering that day, and in my opinion, what he done was nothing short of disgrace, and that's the one thing that I'll take away and remember about him. And I'm personally glad he's gone. So where it leaves the club now going forward, so obviously the current board have resigned. So what happens now is a managing commission takes over. And basically, the main item on their agenda is to organise elections. So the rule is that it's up to 90 days, 3 months. They have to make these elections. It could be anywhere between 40 and 90 days. So I would expect, what's 3 months from now? 27th of January. So you're probably talking, I would say it'll probably take, until that period, because you've got the Christmas period. And they'll obviously have to make arrangements to do with COVID, with certain photo and stuff. And, candidates will have to be named. Candidates will have to get the opportunity to canvass. So you probably are going to be talking January anyway, before it happens. What I think the club needs, there's a lot of popular candidates based on the past, and to me, I don't think that's what the club needs. Barcelona, I think, need a candidate for 2020, and 2021. It'll be by the time probably they take their presidency, but Barcelona needs a candidate for 2021 and beyond. Barcelona don't need a candidate for 1990, for whatever it was, the 2000s when Laporta was there. Benedetto, it's all about Cruyff stuff. And yeah, Cruyff was a legend. Cruyff will always have a special place in the heart of Barcelona fans, and for what he done for the club, and what he done in Catalonia and what he done for Barcelona. But he's history, and he's a legend. But we don't need to go back to 1990. We don't want to be doing. That's 30 years ago. Football's evolved. The world's evolved. It's a very different world. It's a very different climate. That football is now. So you want to be looking at it as looking forward. You want forward thinking people. Ultimately, what you need in the boardroom is surround yourself with the best. I don't like these. A good president to me is somebody who you don't really hear a lot about. Somebody who appoints the right people in the right places with the right level of expertise in those situations and doesn't get involved in things that don't concern them. What you want from a president is somebody who will appoint the right people, appoint the best people in that position, and let them do their job without getting too involved. Who that is, I don't know. I've seen some of the potential candidates, and brutally honest, none of them have impressed me that much. I know that the two, like Laporta and Benedetto, seem to be the ones that people want. But to me, they're the past, and I want to be looking to the future. I want somebody that's going to come in with new ideas and the attitude that they're going to go and they're going to sort out recruitment. They're going to get somebody that's an expert in that area, and put the best people in the best jobs, including on the pitch and obviously off it. So whoever that is, I don't know yet. I don't know who I personally would back. At the end of the day, it's up to the socios that will be in the position to vote. Obviously, you have to get to the probably the stadium to make your vote. So what date exactly we'll get for that, we don't know yet, but we'll obviously find out quite soon. One problem that the next board is going to have is they're going to be starting in a bit of a financial hole. Basically, the way the Barcelona presidency works is you have to put up 15% of the budget. Now, the budget was announced last night. I can't remember the figures. I'll check that, and obviously I'll post it on Twitter or that. But you basically have to put up whatever the annual budget is. You have to put up 15% of that up front. So basically, that money then counts as basically like a guarantee or a deposit. So over the course of your presidency, over the course of your term, your 6-year term, if the club is financially ahead, perfect, everybody's happy, and the money, your money goes back. But if there's a financial hole at the end of it, then the money comes out of that 15% of the budget. So you're potentially in a hole. Now, the new board, Bartomeu's board, were basically the sort of first couple of years of their board and their his presidency. He was fairly ahead. Obviously, this season, COVID has struck, but because he's resigned, he basically leaves as it is now, and he was ahead, so he doesn't. He gets the guarantee, the money, goes back, and he's not liable for this. So probably whoever takes over in January, you're potentially talking about them starting 100 million down, because this season with COVID, no fans in the stadium, etc. It's gonna sting. Obviously, the wage bill's been reduced a bit, but at the end of the year, the money is probably going to be it's probably going to be a good bit down. Obviously, they have the 5 or 6 years. It's usually 6 years is the term, but obviously it depends whether there's early elections or that. But 6 years is the term, so they have 6 years to get that on an even keel, which hopefully they'll do. But it is worth noting that it's not going to be just an instant change and instant spending, because obviously they do have to. I think you essentially could look at it as you're maybe going to lose 100 million this year because of the situation, and they're then going to have the 5 years to make that up. So they're going to need to be making profit, and the sooner obviously things get back to normal, the better. But it's still a wee while off, so we don't know exactly how quickly it's going to be for that to all happen. But tonight's a good night. No matter what way you look at it, it's hopefully the end of that era. Hopefully the socios make the right decision this time. I do feel that there's a discrepancy between the people of Barcelona, the people that have they have been through a lot and seen a lot at Barcelona, and there is like a pessimism. And whenever they see, like, the last elections were basically just after the treble, so they weren't going to oust the president that had won the treble. As far as they were concerned, they all remember the 80s, or the times whenever Barcelona weren't particularly successful, and a lot of the time then they're looking at that as things have never really been better for Barcelona. So hopefully a very good candidate emerges, gets elected, and the club can start planning for the future again, on and off the pitch. Obviously there's the stadium project. Seemingly there's talk of this European Super League. I know the Bartomeu on that there says that they approved whatever Barcelona's part in that is. That's an episode for another day, obviously. There's, personally, I don't really know if it's a good thing or not. I do think, regardless of what I think, or regardless of what you think, or whoever's watching this thinks, I think it's probably inevitable that it will happen at some stage. The way the game's going, money dictates. Whether that'll change, obviously we've had a year this year where a lot of things have changed, and whether that means that travel, which obviously would be a lot in a European Super League, might shelve those plans for a while. But nobody really knows, to be honest. But anyway, I'll let you all get on, and hopefully this is the start of something special for Barcelona. Whoever comes in, they make the appropriate choices, and make good choices, and the club can move out of what sort of seems like a sticky patch over the last year or two, and get back to doing what they do best, which is winning on the field. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your night, and Visca Barca.